Okay, so my roommate is gone, and so I guess I'm free to make a video right now, and I'm using his old bed because this is a better setup than looking at my gross bed right now. But, ayo, heyo, heyo, hello, my bad, ayo, heyo, hello, it's Smile again, and I want to talk about, this is a little more on the serious subject side, but the idea of white being beautiful. And so, okay, to me this has always been a thing that I've always thought. Even in like the past, I've always been like, I think I would be prettier if I was lighter skinned. And like, I am relatively light skinned. Like if you look at my like chest or whatever, and you look at like my forearm and everything, that's the kind of light I want to be. But then you look at my, the side of my arm, and it's different. And so seeing that difference, you might be like, oh yeah, okay, he looks nice and everything. But I want to be this light. I want to be like as light as my arm is right there. I want to be as light as I am right there. And of course, I've said this to people here and there in Arkansas, and they're like, oh no, are you kidding me? I wish I was tan, and this and that. And there was a time where I was pretty tan because I was doing marching band, right? And so it didn't really bother me to know that people would prefer being tan, but I guess I think I started thinking more about it lately, and how I really wish I was white. And I don't mean that that's clearly like a terrible thing to say, but I was talking to one of my friends, Sony, from Nepal, and she was telling me, like, I kind of knew this anyways, but like, in Asia, you know, they have skin lightening lotion and everything. They have like cream, facial stuff, this and that. They should try to make their skin lighter. People carry umbrellas so the sun doesn't get them. And that's the thing, like, I hate getting in the sun. I literally wear like sweaters and everything, and like I cover my face as much as I can to avoid getting sunlight. I have a parasol to avoid sunlight because I think I'm prettier when I'm lighter, and that's terrible. It's messed up to, I guess, have that mentality, and I know I don't know that it's common practice, because a lot of, I mean, of course, white people are like, oh, I wish I was tanner and everything like that, and they use fake tanning and everything, but I think in the majority of places, they probably do think of white being pretty, and like when you think about like the world's sexiest man and this and that they have on People magazine or whatever, it's white people, and then like in commercials and this and that, it's white people, and like it's seeing a lot of things, like even thinking about like YouTube, beauty gurus tend to be white, and it's weird. And so like I was watching this one person, as told by Kenya, and she was talking about how like it's weird seeing these people and then going to the store just to look at the product, even though you know it's not gonna match your skin tone because she's black. And so like I don't know, I just thought about that. And then another thing that I thought about was Aquafina recently. I was watching an interview that she was doing, and she was talking about one of her like role models and to wanting to become an actress and a person on stage and whatever. And she was like, the thing about representation is you don't know how much you need it until you realize that you didn't have it, you know? And so like her being a person who is now, like, she was in Crazy Rich Asians and having a full Asian cast, and like seeing that was like a very grand gesture of like, it's an all Asian cast, and it was this whole like thing. And seeing that like kind of thing, I was like, yes, like representation matters. And I know that Hispanics aren't underrepresented, but I mean, since I do speak English and Spanish, I also do like watch Spanish news, so I never feel like I'm missing out on myself exactly. But given I am in America, and normally everything on TV here is in English, it's really hard to find something or someone who looks like me or speaks my language. And let me tell you, this is like goes into the just lingual stuff, but in Walmart even, oh my gosh, every now and then they play Spanish music on our radio, like on the Walmart radio, and it makes me feel so considered, so included, so welcome. And so I'm not saying that like, oh hey, everyone should, I mean, okay, everyone should be represented, but I know it's almost impossible to do. But being a person, being a Latino, and knowing that like we do make up a good portion of the United States population now, it's nice to be able to see people who are like me. And like when I think about YouTube, I don't see that many people who are Latin, and so like it's one of my big things about wanting to be on here. I mean, for one thing, it's like Spanish representation, like love that, and then two, just having like, okay, so I've wanted to have videos like this because I want my mom to be able to see some of these videos, and it's hard for me to translate because I'm bad at translating. So if anything, I'm just gonna be the person that makes the videos now, and then I'll be like, look mom, this is what I'm talking about. This is the video. But I don't know, it's bad. I don't mean to say that I feel like I don't feel pretty because I'm white, but I know that I do have this big thing about like making sure my skin is whiter and lighter, and it's not that I think generally that white people are prettier than other races, but I mean even in my own dating standards, or I guess dating preferences, not standards, I do tend to look towards lighter skinned people, and then that goes back into like the bad thing about like lighter skin being prettier, and I like, yes, that doesn't exactly equate to white, but when you look at everything like smartphones and everything like this, the color white is just so held to be like pristine and elegant and nice looking, and so like, you know, people who are white, to me, I'm like, wow, those people are pretty, and then me seeing me be light is pretty, and then I hate seeing me get brown, I hate being in the sun, and that's literally so unhealthy. That is so unhealthy, because of course, white people are like, oh wow, I wish I was tan, or I wish I had a little bit darker skin, like trade me skin because I wish I looked like you, and I'm like, yeah, I literally wish I looked like you, and then not to mention even the fact that, you know, being white comes with certain privileges in society, and you know, like there's a lot to unpack on that. But I don't know, I'm not saying that I wish I was white, but I also kind of am, which is terrible. Like it's shameful for me to admit, like, yes, I kind of wish I was white, not solely just for like the visual appeal and looking better, and see, that's the thing, it's not that they look better, it's just I think so, and I don't know, white people are like in every blockbuster film. I'm like, the Hollywood crushes I had were white men, because I mean, I didn't see anything else. I didn't see anyone else. So like this, I don't know if it might be a representation, I guess. The sake of like me normalizing seeing white people in the media is why I do have the general expectation that white people are prettier to me, and that like, given that continuous exposure to white people and like, you know, developing and getting crushes on those people on TV, I was like, yes, white people, and like, that didn't inherently make me feel ugly, but it did make me feel like I should have lighter skin. And I mean, you know, you see these you see like beauty stuff, and they tell you like, if you put lemon on your face or whatever, hide from the sun and this and that, and then you won't like scab or it won't irritate your skin, and you won't get dark or whatever. And so like, I'm like, yes, see, like I want my skin lighter, and there's literally remedies to do that, and I've tried some of them, and that's bad too. And so like, it's I can't do that to every part of my body, and I literally, I don't know if this is like racist or insensitive to say, but I would wear a burqa if I could, and that's not to say that I probably can't. I probably could. I want to cover my skin left and like all over, head to toe, to be lighter. Look at my face and look at my arm. Like, there's a difference in that, and I wish my arm was lighter like my face. And that's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. And I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that kind of person who. I don't think it's my fault. I think I have been duped by society into thinking that white people are prettier. And that's not to say that white people aren't pretty. I'm not saying anyone's ugly. I'm not saying anyone's uglier than other people. But given the power tycoon that white people are, you know, it's hard to imagine yourself as pretty when you haven't seen someone of your color be seen as pretty, I guess. Like, so, you know, like even in Disney, like most of the people, right? And like, I like the representation for black people, but that's also like, you know, not me. And so that's the weird thing, because I'm like, I definitely think black people are so beautiful. Like, okay, personally, black women, yes, like that. Queens, all of them, every single one. Black men, here and there, hit or miss. Like, some of them are like super handsome and gorgeous, and then some of them I'm like, okay, you look okay, but all black women, beautiful. But so that's, I don't know. I'm not saying that they should have like tan people here and there, or like weird, like brownish, not fully black people. I'm not saying that it's the I guess maybe it is the representation's sake, not being able to sympathize with a character who has been romanticized because they don't have my skin color. So like, me not seeing someone of my skin color be romanticized, it's kind of weird. Like, even in literature, you know, it's like their what is it? Their skin was fine like China, and this and that. Her pale light skin, and it's just like, I don't know. It just comes up in a lot more things that I think. Like I see these posters on the wall, and just like it's always white people, and like the only times that black people or colored people do come up is for diversity's sake, or because they did something with merit behind it. And so like it's like, oh, this person got an award, or they're being recognized for doing this, but it's not like, oh, hey, this person's just like, I don't know. It's not. I don't know. White people are just pushed down our throat, I guess. Not exactly, because like, you know, they make up the majority of it. It's not. It's just that it's more commonplace to see white people, and thus I feel, and I have felt, less pretty by not being white, because it's always the white character who's being, like, it's always the white people being the couple, it's always the white guy or the white girl that the person's going after, and just this and that. It's like, it's not, I'm not blaming anyone exactly, because, you know, there's differences in I don't want to say culture, because like in Asia, again, they do prefer lighter skin because it's prettier to them. But here in America, I guess me not seeing representation from my end makes me feel not ugly exactly, but maybe not as pretty. Again, like I do want to be lighter. I would like to have lighter skin. Like I tell my white friends, I'm like, I literally wish I was as white as you are. And my friend, she's Latin too, Latina, but she's super white, and I'm like, you are so pretty to me, and it's just, oh my gosh, I don't know, it's an issue, and I don't want other people to have to go through it, because like, I don't think I'm ugly, like, but I mean, I'm sure I could, you know, like, I think I'm pretty, just because I know that people have told me I'm pretty, but that's not the same, I guess, because, you know, like, everyone's gonna have their own insecurity and self-doubt and everything, so it's like, I don't know if it's just me, and making it into like this big thing about culture and this and that, but I think it does have merit into being like, yes, it's because I don't see this many colored people in the media, and I don't know, I'm not saying it's unfair, I get why it hasn't happened, it's just, it's taking more and more for people of different ethnicities to be in these platforms, I guess, and so I'm not saying it's like not possible, and it's taking time, but that's probably because of like reparations and stuff like that, because, you know, I mean, they weren't always given the opportunities they have now, so, I don't know, maybe it'll get better, maybe it won't. I still think it's kind of pushed in to people that, like, yes, white is pretty, blonde, blue eyes, pretty, it's like the Aryan race, which is like a bad way of saying it, but I'm like, Hitler would have loved this, Hitler would have been like, yes, these are pretty people, and that's what we deem pretty right now. Not saying anything, I guess, but I'm saying something. I'm not saying we're like all terrible, or like, you know, I'm not saying we're freaking Hitler, but I don't know, it's weird.